Hey, welcome back everybody. This is Coaster Brian here. Today, another Hot Toys figure unboxing and review. This one here, as you can clearly see, Pirates of the Caribbean DX15 Jack Sparrow figure. This box is very big. It's also very heavy due to the figure stand. But just to give you a quick look. So again, Dead Man Tells No Tales. That's the movie this figure is from, so it has that design of the skull and crossbones. And sorry for any noise, it's a bit windy today. To show you the side, again, Jack Sparrow, really cool. You can see like the dead zombie sharks, the different kinds of sharks that were in the film. DX15 has that kind of, again, that skull and crossbones, oh, you can't see. You can see that. Really cool. This is a really nice box. Very big, very heavy. And the details, the Hot Toys details. Again, some more designs, skulls and crossbones, compasses, the pirate ship in the bottle, and then the Sparrow. And that is it there. And it has the side that opens up. A very big box, very heavy. When you open it up here, it has that kind of a design there, you can see. And per typical DX releases on this foam cover, there's a little bit of an extra kind of detail. I believe from the film, you may know this from the film, there's kind of a book in the how it protected Jack. This does come out. It's just a card. It says Pirates of the Caribbean on the back. Just a nice little extra thing for the figure. When you move this, you do have, here would be the figure. Just moving things here. Here would be the figure. And this comes out. You have some accessories. And then on the bottom underneath here, you have that kind of big main accessory. So next what we're going to do, we're going to take everything out and take a look at all the things that this figure is packaged with. So here are all of the accessories for the figure. These are all the accessories you can put onto Jack. There's this extra hair piece here. I have it still wrapped in the plastic, a little extra hair piece. This is the piece with Jack's mom, his mother's head. Not too crazy detail on the sculpt, but a lot of medallions and things. But it's kind of the it's the soft hair. I think this is supposed to be a duck foot, I believe, but still, it's really nice detail. Good paint for a small accessory. I'm not sure what this is, but it's another piece, kind of like a shiny gold and like a bone kind of a thing. I'm not sure. Of course, we all know this is Jack's compass. This does open up on the front right here. There is a flap. You can get your fingernail in there. It does come loose and it does open. Just like in the movie, same detail, kind of gold speckling there, and the compass doesn't move. It's fixed, but still really nice detail, and you can close it. So it's a really nice thing you can do to pose Jack holding the compass, looking at the compass. We know its significance. We have this wanted poster, just a piece of printed paper. It is already out of the box. It will come wrinkled. It's supposed to give it that effect. So don't be upset or wondering why is this not, why is this all wrinkled? It's supposed to be like that. But really cool. Nice wanted poster. We have a rum bottle. It's just painted. It's not, you can't see through it. There's no like liquid detail. It's just a kind of, supposed to represent that kind of glass green. But that's the rum bottle. You have his telescope. It's not telescopic. It's fixed like this, the sculpt. But there is that kind of the lens. It does get that little reflective detail on the plastic to make it look more real. Paint apps are great. It looks really worn. It looks like it's been used a lot. There's that glass effect on the plastic on the back. If you can see, there we go. But really nice. We'll continue with some of the weapons now. Here we have one of his guns. All plastic, no articulation. It's all just one piece. Really great effect. The wood grain's a little bit, maybe too shiny, a little bit unrealistic, but it still looks very good. The paint apps on the metal. Plastic looks good. Same thing with this one here. Again, fixed, a little shiny, all plastic, but looks like metal. Really nice detail. Here's his knife. It does come with the sheath. This is a plastic. It looks like a soft good. I mean, it feels like a soft good, but I do believe this is a plastic. It's pretty rigid, doesn't want to move. And the knife itself, all plastic, painted like metal. Really nice, but it is pretty flimsy. So be careful when you're using it with this, putting it in and out. It is pointy. You can hurt yourself, maybe a little bit. It does have a good point, and also be careful with the figure, with the suit, the outfit. You don't want to rip anything on the jacket or so on. Here we have his sword. Now with this one, you have the sheath again. With this is metal, I believe. It is cold to the touch, so pretty sure it's a metal. The tip is blunt. It is rounded off. So you're not going to hurt yourself with this. It shouldn't get stuck in any other clothing, but that plastic one, just going back to it, it is a pretty pointy tip, so be careful with that one. But for this metal one, you're not going to hurt yourself on this, but this is metal. Really nice, good weight to it. The handle is plastic, good paint. But yeah, this is a really nice sword. Online, it doesn't say that it's a metal, but it is, and it's really great. It definitely changes the feel and the quality of it being a metal compared to a really long just plastic. So I'm really happy with that, as you would expect in a DX release. Here is his hat. This is a fox leather or a pleather, but it has some movement to it. You can form it a little bit, maybe out of the package. It may be a little off, as you can see with mine. It's not perfectly even, but I think that kind of represents Jack pretty well. But a really nice hat, really fits on the head easily. But that's his famous hat. Here we have the black pearl in the bottle. The black pearl itself isn't crazy detailed, but I think for what it is, it's perfect. I think it looks great. The water effect on the inside, on the lid of the bottle, I think it's really cool. Put that there. Looking at the hands, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra hands. There's 2 already on the figure. We have 3 right hands, 2 left. Some of these are a lot of course, Jack Sparrow is a lot of emotion. There's a lot of character to him. So a lot of these hands are kind of to represent his funny walking with his hand gestures and things like that. Especially this one right here. This is kind of that, you see it often in the movie, his hand gesture when he's walking around and things like that. Here we have maybe a trigger hand. This one here, kind of pointing, or again that gesture, maybe he's grabbing the rum bottle hand. Another trigger hand. And even this one, maybe he's grabbing the rum bottle. He's looking at something, looking at the compass or something like that. Again, look at the manual. It tells you which hands to use for what accessories. Coming in real close, we'll look at one of his right hands first. The attention to detail on these hands are fantastic. The skin tone, it is a darker tone than a normal kind of Hot Toys figure. I think that's pretty decent because he is a pirate. He is on the seas a lot. This here is soft material. You can see it kind of goes into where the peg would go. But this is a soft material. Be careful that this doesn't start to come off. So when you're changing the hands and plugging them in, be very just delicate with these hands. But this is a soft material. All these are sculpted on the rings. The paint is great. You can see on his fingers the tattooing that says Jack. It looks great. Skin speckling is fantastic, and that carries over to all these hands here. And let's take a look at this one here, his left hand. Again, it continues. The tattooing, the ring, the kind of dirt marks. Really good attention to detail. All right, and next, for one of the biggest accessories with this figure and what makes this box so heavy is the figure stand. There's many parts to it. So first, it's a dynamic posing stand, so you have this grabber. It has the soft material to make sure it protects the figure, but it is like this. It is this kind of a stand. You do have your dynamic bendable arm for the stand. It's a pretty heavy duty one. It's a bit thicker compared to some of the newer ones. At least in my opinion it is. But it does use with that, and it screws in onto the base. Now for some of the detail. First, this plugs in, and I will show you very soon. This is supposed to be kind of like a, I don't know the terms on the ship, but it's a part of the ship, kind of maybe it's sinking, and it does have this post here. You kind of have like the worn effect throughout this piece, maybe like coral or stuff like that from the sea foam or something. You can see it's kind of glossy in some spots and not in the other. A really great detail to make it look wet. Here you have a pirate flag, right? The Sparrow and the skull and the crossbones. It's really worn on the edges. Same on both sides. You can see that dirt, that wear on the flag. It kind of carries throughout. Really cool. On this side here, you can see it is open. You are able to put the post through the flag and have it kind of hanging like this. You can see it really flows in the air very well. It falls pretty decent, but again, if you want to have it where it's showing the Sparrow or the skull and crossbones, you could just kind of work it and you'll be able to get what you like. And that goes like that. Now next, the base itself. Just very quickly take a look at that. I think this is an amazing point of the figure, and one of the things that I'm not a huge fan of. I love this base, but I'll explain why I'm not a huge fan in a little bit. First, you have the metal nameplate, just Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. It doesn't say Jack Sparrow. It just is the name of the movie. So that could be a plus or a minus for some of you. You have this the dead shark, this zombie shark. It definitely, I think, is a great white. You have part of the ship going down, the cannon, and kind of the deck. On the back here, this is where you would plug in that part of the ship. I'll show you more in a second. Right here is where you'd plug in the dynamic pole. But just looking at that detail, first the water, the paint on this to show that kind of that foam on the water, the waves. It's so well done. In person, maybe the camera's not showing it well. You can kind of tell here. It's a translucent blue plastic over the top, so it really gives it that kind of water effect, that see-through effect, like towards the bottom of the ocean maybe, or like kind of the under layer of the water. It's so nice in person. The shark, nice detail. The teeth, a little pointy, but it goes on the inside. It's open. Again, his head, there's that hole in his head. It kind of cuts through. Really, really cool. You have the cannon. It's not covered, so you can mess with that a little bit if you wanted to do something with that. Again, that detail on the cannon. And this is all plastic. It's a very thick plastic. There's no assembly you need to do out of the box with this besides just the other pieces I mentioned. Here's the back of the cannon. Like it's broken, damaged. Really great. So again, you have this post, this piece here, that plugs in right there. So you would just plug it in, I believe, this way. There we go, just like that. So again, when you're putting it in, this is the base. plugs in this way. And you have that. And I'll show you this whole assembled in a little bit. And then, of course, on the back here, you would screw that in. I'm not going to do that. I don't use that with this. But I will show you the completed base when we look at the figure. And last is this secondary head sculpt. This is the serious, more kind of blank face, I would say, for Jack Sparrow. You can see that detail. I think this head sculpt is one of the best head sculpts Hot Toys has ever done. And it may look a little weird because you don't have the hair and stuff, but just looking at the face, the detail, it's so lifelike. It looks like Johnny Depp, an older Johnny Depp, of course, from Dead Men Tell No Tales. His little beard braids here, they are plastic. They are really small, really thin, so be very careful when you mess with that. I would recommend never trying to put any pressure on these two pieces because I think they will break pretty easily. For this figure, it has the separate eye rolling system. So you have these two pegs here, each for each eye. You can move the eyes, obviously, for this system, so you can pose him in looking in any direction you wish. But there we go. All right, next. Let's pan up and take a look at the Jack figure itself. So very quickly, let's try to go through this. So I have the secondary head sculpt on the figure. This one I think is more appropriate for me. For Jack, it's kind of that smirking smile. Just to give a quick overview of the figure. There's a lot of soft goods. A lot of soft material on this figure, which is great. There is some pleather. We'll talk about that. Looking at the head, again, that smirking look. Same thing as the other head sculpt. It has the separate eye rolling system. You can see for his hair, for all of his braids, his the dreads, they are a plastic, a sculpted plastic. Same with the headband, the bandana. It's all sculpted plastic. These aren't, there's no wire or anything. If you wanted to fix some of these, you're gonna want to heat that up. But it's pretty good. These two parts of his hair is rooted hair. It is soft. You have this piece here, like a bone, and they are attached to the sculpted head, as you can see. So just bear that in mind. As you see with mine, it's a mess. So I'm really happy. I'm not a big fan of rooted hair, but for this figure, I don't mind it because it's only these two pieces, and I think Jack would naturally have his hair kind of raggedy and stuff like that, so it's not a big deal to me. Just to show, this headpiece does come off, and to show that it's a little tight, which is good. There is a magnet. Just trying to get this off. There we go. So this is all the hair. Everything is attached to this with a magnet. So you're left with this kind of a Jack. And again, the rolling system. If you want to swap the head, you're going to want to take the headpiece off and then swap the heads. Getting it on can be a little tricky because you have so much hair in the way, but you can kind of see on the inside that brown. That's what you're going to want to use to guide to put the head back on. And to do that, kind of work the hair around the body on the outfit. You can try to get it close. It may take you a few tries, but then once you get it, we're good. You fix things and then you're okay. But overall, not too difficult to do. Now, with the body. So you have this big jacket, this big coat that he has. Again, you could take this off. I'm not going to do that for the video, but it does come off. You can get that alternate look from his clothing underneath. And I have the hands in here. I have another kind of fist grabbing hand and another kind of grabbing hand here. So first, this is all soft goods on the figure. These buttons here are glued on. They don't button into anything. There's nothing you could do with that. It's just the detail. Really, really nice. The bottom of it does have a wire, as you can see. It can get a little bit, there's a lot of material here, so there's a lot of wire you can mess with. It takes a little bit of time, but the wear on the fabric, it looks really good. It looks worn. It doesn't look brand new, which I like. You can see on the hands too, the how big and poofy the cuffs are, which I think is great. On the inside of here, just to open this up a little bit, just to show some of the rest of his outfit. It's just really, really well done. The attention to detail for this figure is, again, for a lot of people, this is a grail figure, so I can see why. Kind of showing the back. Again, the detail is fantastic. Here, this is a scarf. It's listed as one of the accessories. There's a magnet in the scarf on the bottom right here, and it will attach, as you can see, right there on the figure. So it kind of will lay kind of naturally. You have a lot of buckles. You have this fur here. You have these loops. Look at the user guide, and you can see where all of those guns and accessories go on this figure. I won't do that now because it'll take too much time. But take a look at that user guide, and you can see how to accessory up your Jack. And of course, you could do whatever you want. You have a lot of options with him. If you want to take the jacket off, keep it on. However you want to lay the accessories, the swords, the weapons. You have so many options. Now this here is a pleather. It's a really detailed, you can see, kind of, I guess, bandolier in a way. The strap, it's not flat. There is a detailed print on it. It looks great. Even this one here looks great. The buckles, the wear. This is, I think, one of the best releases Hot Toys has ever come out with. Going down to the pants, again, we're carrying over that soft goods. Same with the boot. The boot, it is not, it's a separate piece. It's just really, really tight along these legs here. But it is a soft material. It's a bit rougher of a material going down to the shoes. It's all one material. But it gets really tight down here. So I get a little worried sometimes wearing out the material down here, but it's pretty tight. The bottom of the shoes are flat, so this figure can kind of slide a bit. This is very slippery, so be careful with that when you're posing it. Leaving it in a detail for any kind of display case. This is kind of, it's not grippy, so this figure may want to slide. There's a lot going on the top part of the body. There's a lot of material, a lot of weight. So I've noticed these feet are pretty loose for the purposes of standing him on his own. He can do it, but you just want to be careful. So speaking of articulation, excuse me, we'll start with the feet. Like I said, it's kind of loose. It'll stay. It's not going to just wiggle around, but he tends to want to fall back, for me at least, pretty easily. It's pretty thin here, so. But you do get the full range of motion for the ankle. There's no toe articulation. This is rigid, so bear that in mind. There's the upper thigh swivel, double jointed knee, which is great. None of the clothes are restrictive for Jack. The only kind of restriction you'll get is that ab, because I mean, there's so many belts. You're not gonna be able to articulate that. But with the waist, there is a minor swivel, but there's just so many belts. For the arms, you don't have nothing to worry about, really. He can go all the way up. Of course, with the jacket on, it's a little bit restrictive. You take it off, you're going to get more articulation. Double jointed elbows, a little bit restricted with the jacket. It goes in and out. That's a butterfly joint. It can go up. My figure's a little tight. It's also hard to tell which way his arm is going, but it can go up to about there for me. But I've had no issues getting this figure to move. But the jacket can be a little bit restricted. The head, left and right, no problem. Up and down, no problem. Be careful when you go down. You don't want to pop those off. But he does have a good amount of tilt. Of course, the hair will block a little bit when you go back. But still, they bend enough where you can get some good poses with him. And the hair still kind of falls well because there's so much of it. But a lot of good side to side. A lot of good motion for this figure. And just to show you real quick, I haven't done that yet, showing you with the hat on. It looks pretty good. I think it lays pretty well. It doesn't look fake or anything. It doesn't look like it's a toy. It looks like it's resting how it should on his head. But sometimes, as you can see, it will pop up. So you're gonna have to just play around with it a little bit. But that looks great. And last, like I was talking about with the stand, you can see standing next to him. This jack is about, you know, your 12 inches, maybe a little bit less. With the hat, maybe he is around 12 inches. So good with the 1/6 scale. But you can see coming up here, the top of the flag comes up well above him. But it takes up a lot of space in the display. It makes Jack a little bit too high up in the display, so it's kind of hard to see him when he's in like a D12. So bear that in mind. I really like this stand a lot, but it's something I really don't use. So again, this is the DX15 Dead Men Tell No Tales Jack Sparrow figure from Hot Toys. So again, thank you very much. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you can. I know lately you're seeing a lot more figure reviews in a row, just due to the current times right now. I want to still give you the content of the things I enjoy again on my channel. I'm sharing my interests with you, and collectibles, especially Hot Toys, are a big interest of mine. So thank you for your patience. If this is something maybe new for you. So in the comments below, please let me know what you'd like to see next, whether it's figures, travel, or anything else. So thank you very much for watching. Again, my name is Coaster Brian, and I'll see you next time. So bye-bye.